Alex Mitchell stood frozen at the sight of his belongings scattered across the San Francisco sidewalk. Rain soaked through his resume, the one highlighting his exceptional career as a cybersecurity developer. The landlady's final words still rang in his ears. "I don't care about your fancy algorithms. No rent, no roof." His coding brilliance meant nothing now. The same skills that once earned him accolades at TechForge became worthless after the company's acquisition. The new management had swiftly eliminated his department, and his groundbreaking blockchain security algorithm was claimed by executives who never acknowledged his creation. His phone buzzed unexpectedly. "Mr. Mitchell, your application has been reviewed. The position is available immediately." His heart leapt momentarily before crashing back down. "Which tech company?" he asked, hope flickering. The woman's pause spoke volumes. "Sir, this is for the estate manager position, the gatekeeper." Alex clutched his chest, reality setting in. A gateman with his qualifications. But when homelessness stared him in the face, pride became an unaffordable luxury. The Palo Alto estate took his breath away, a $20 million glass and steel monument to Silicon Valley success. As Alex approached the imposing entrance, a sleek Tesla roared up the driveway. The woman who emerged exuded power from her tailored blazer to her confident stride. "You must be the new help," she said without looking at him. "I'm Samantha Reynolds. You'll address me as Ms. Reynolds or ma'am. The gatehouse is there. It's basic but functional." Her dismissive wave toward the tiny structure by the entrance felt like another demotion. Inside his new home, barely larger than a storage shed, Alex ran his fingers across dusty shelves. The contrast between this and Samantha's tech-filled mansion created a knot in his throat. Through the window, he watched her embrace a strikingly handsome man. Blake Thompson, model, influencer, an arm candy to one of tech's most promising female CEOs. The perfect image for magazine covers. Alex recognized him from billboards and social media, now witnessing his careless entrance as he demanded Alex open gates and fetch packages while barely acknowledging his existence. That night, as Alex huddled in the cold gatehouse, his laptop screen illuminated his face, the only possession connecting him to his former life. Lines of code scrolled by as he continued refining his security algorithm. What stung most wasn't just the dramatic fall in status, but the subtle discrimination he had faced during job interviews. His openly gay identity had raised eyebrows at traditional tech firms, with interviewers suddenly finding cultural fit issues despite his impeccable technical credentials. Silicon Valley's supposed progressiveness had proven superficial, revealing its underlying biases when careers were on the line. Morning brought no comfort as Alex watched Blake lounging by the pool while barking orders his way. "Hey, gate guy, more towels." The same hands that had created revolutionary security protocols now carried fresh linen to a man who contributed nothing beyond his appearance. Alex's former colleagues would never believe his current reality, from presenting at tech conferences to being invisible, helped within months. Yet beneath his quiet compliance, his brilliant mind continued working, observing patterns around the estate that others missed, including the unusual late-night activities in Samantha's home office when she was away. If you're enjoying this story of unexpected twists and the journey of an underestimated hero, make sure to subscribe to Heart Stories and turn on notifications to catch all our emotional tales that remind us how appearances can be deceiving and true worth often hides beneath the surface. Samantha Reynolds paced her minimalist office, the San Francisco skyline a glittering backdrop to her mounting anxiety. Her fintech startup Quantum Finance stood at a crucial crossroads, a $200 million Series B funding round just weeks away. The Wall Street Journal had recently profiled her as Silicon Valley's rising queen. But beneath that carefully constructed image lurked a shadow of insecurity. The tech world whispered behind her back, questioning whether a woman without an engineering background truly belonged at the helm of a blockchain company. These whispers had grown louder since her former co-founder and CTO, a man who had belittled her technical knowledge, left to launch a competing startup. Blake lounged on her Italian leather sofa, scrolling through his Instagram engagement metrics, while Samantha frantically prepared for her investor meeting. His physical beauty served as the perfect accessory to her public image, the power couple that fashion and tech magazines adored. Their relationship offered Samantha protection from the industry's obsession with female CEOs' personal lives. Yet Blake contributed nothing beyond his appearance. His days filled with photo shoots and brand deals while she built an empire. The first signs of trouble appeared on a Tuesday morning. Samantha's CFO entered her office ashen-faced. "We've detected unusual activity in our investment fund. $5 million vanished overnight. Within days, another $7 million disappeared despite enhanced security protocols." The pattern continued, each withdrawal more sophisticated than the last, evading detection until after the fact. The top cybersecurity firms in the party proved useless, their experts confounded by the attack's elegance. Alex observed the mounting crisis through chance encounters and overheard conversations while maintaining the grounds. He recognized the panic in Samantha's voice during her poolside phone calls. 20 million gone. "The investors will pull out if we can't guarantee security," she had whispered one evening, unaware of Alex trimming hedges nearby. The blockchain attack method sounded eerily familiar, a variant of the vulnerability his algorithm had been designed to prevent. One evening, as Alex carried groceries into the kitchen, he overheard Samantha's desperate video call with yet another security consultant. The technical details they discussed made Alex's mind race. This was undoubtedly an inside job requiring intimate knowledge of their systems. Standing quietly in the shadows, he pieced together the puzzle fragments. The attack signature matched Blake's suspicious behavior: frequent late-night computer sessions, hushed calls in the garden, meetings with unknown individuals when Samantha worked late. "Perhaps I could help," Alex ventured as Samantha ended her call. Her laughter cut through him like ice. "The gardener thinks he can solve what MIT graduates can't." Blake entered, sliding his arm possessively around Samantha. "Know your place," he sneered. "Open gates, carry bags. That's all you're good for." Their dismissive laughter followed Alex back to his gatehouse, where his fingers hovered over his keyboard. He could solve this. But should he help someone who saw no value in him? The moral dilemma weighed heavily as he watched more of Samantha's dream crumble each day, her exhaustion increasingly visible beneath her carefully applied makeup. Sometimes those who treat us worst are fighting battles we cannot see, and compassion often requires rising above personal injury for a greater good. Samantha's world continued collapsing around her. Board meetings transformed into interrogations, with male executives questioning her competence in increasingly hostile terms. "Perhaps technology isn't your strong suit," one suggested with thinly veiled condescension. The double standards infuriated her. Male CEOs were allowed failures as bold risks, while hers threatened her entire leadership. These pressures drove her deeper into Blake's arms, seeking validation and comfort from the very person orchestrating her downfall. Each night, she worked later, growing thinner and more desperate, while Blake secretly transferred company information to his contacts at rival tech, the competitor founded by Samantha's ex-partner with the explicit goal of destroying her career. The Silicon Valley morning fog clung to the estate as Samantha's empire continued its silent collapse. Another 12 million vanished overnight, bringing the total loss to an unsustainable 32 million. Investor whispers transformed into alarming headlines. Quantum finance security breach raises questions about leadership. The Series B funding round, Samantha's lifeline, teetered on the brink of collapse. Her board members demanded answers she couldn't provide. In his gatehouse, Alex wrestled with his conscience. Each night, he'd worked on adapting his security algorithm to analyze Quantum's vulnerability patterns. His solution waited on his laptop, ready to deploy. Yet bitterness clung to him like a shadow. These people had reduced him to opening doors and tending gardens. Why save the company that represented everything unfair about Silicon Valley's elitism? His finger hovered over the delete key. One press would erase his work, allowing karma to run its course. Then he thought of Maria from accounting, who'd always smiled and thanked him by name when entering the estate. Of Raj, the security guard who shared his lunch during long shifts. Of the hundreds of employees whose livelihoods would vanish if Quantum collapsed. His resentment towards Samantha couldn't justify punishing innocent people. Principles had always guided his career. even when the industry hadn't reciprocated that integrity. Fate intervened one rainy afternoon. Samantha, disheveled from sleepless nights, stumbled upon Alex in his gatehouse, hunched over complex code on his weathered laptop. She froze in the doorway, her perception visibly shifting. "You're a programmer?" she asked, remnants of her usual confidence stripped away by desperation. Alex nodded silently, turning his screen toward her. Her eyes widened at the sophisticated blockchain architecture displayed. "Why didn't you say anything? Would you have listened?" he asked quietly. Her silence acknowledged the truth, pride abandoned. Samantha showed Alex the full scope of the attacks. He recognized the signature immediately, a double-blind extraction technique that diverted funds through multiple anonymous wallets before reaching their destination. Working through the night, Alex deployed his algorithm, creating a digital breadcrumb trail through the blockchain labyrinth. The evidence materialized with devastating clarity. The transfers originated from Blake's private devices, ultimately flowing to Rival Tech, the company founded by Samantha's former CTO. "The withdrawals happen every Tuesday and Friday at 3 a.m., Alex explained, showing her the pattern. "Your boyfriend has been siphoning funds since you gave him access to your home network." As she processed this betrayal, Alex executed his recovery protocol. Within hours, the stolen millions began returning to Quantum's accounts, each transaction leaving an unalterable blockchain record of the theft. Samantha sat motionless, watching the numbers climb as her company's future restored itself. "Why help me after how I've treated you?" she whispered. Alex's response came from a place deeper than his own hurt. "Because solving problems is what I do. Because your employees deserve better. Because sometimes we need to rise above how we've been treated to become who we truly are." As dawn broke, Samantha made two decisions that would forever alter both their trajectories. First, she would not confront Blake immediately, maintaining the facade until she could reveal his betrayal publicly at the funding event. Second, she would introduce Alex as Quantum's new security architect at that same event, acknowledging his brilliance before the entire tech community. Little did either of them know that Blake had already discovered his scheme unraveling, setting in motion a desperate plan that would require more than code to survive. The days before the funding event transformed their dynamic. Samantha surreptitiously provided Alex with access to Quantum's security infrastructure, enabling him to strengthen defenses against future attacks. They worked late into the night, maintaining appearances during daylight hours. Blake grew increasingly suspicious of their interactions. Noticing subtle changes in Samantha's behavior, her sudden reluctance to share her phone, her vague explanations for late work sessions. One evening, Blake accidentally walked into her home office, catching a glimpse of Alex's code on her screen before she could minimize it. The flash of recognition in Blake's eyes lasted only seconds, but it was enough. That night, he made a call to Rival Tech's CEO. "We've been compromised. Time for contingency plan Omega." True strength often emerges not when we stand tall in success, but when we rise from the ashes of underestimation, turning adversity into opportunity through perseverance and unwavering moral courage. The San Francisco Museum of Modern Art transformed into a temple of technology for Quantum Finance's funding event. Crystal chandeliers illuminated Silicon Valley's elite venture capitalists in bespoke suits, tech journalists with recording devices, and competitors observing with calculating eyes. Samantha stood backstage, her emerald gown catching the light as she rehearsed her speech one final time. Today marked both her triumph and Blake's downfall. Alex adjusted his borrowed suit in a staff bathroom mirror. The garment hung loosely on his frame, a stark reminder of his reduced circumstances. Yet his reflection showed something reclaimed dignity. In his pocket rested a flash drive containing the complete evidence of Blake's betrayal, ready to project before the audience. For the first time in months, purpose filled his chest instead of resentment. Blake prowled the venue like a cornered animal, his perfect smile masking growing panic. His phone buzzed with increasingly threatening messages from Rival Tech's CEO. "Fix this or we both go down." Their plan had unraveled inexplicably. The stolen millions mysteriously returned to Quantum's accounts overnight. Blake's suspicions centered on the gateman. Something about Alex's confident demeanor when passing him that morning had triggered alarm bells. A hurried call from the venue's supply closet sealed his desperate contingency. "Ensure neither of them leaves that stage," Blake whispered to the voice on the other end. "Double your fee. Just make it happen." The plan was simple yet devastating. A hired gunman, positioned in the lighting rig above the audience, instructed to eliminate both Samantha and whoever exposed their scheme. Blake's narcissism had metastasized into something darker, a belief that destroying Samantha would somehow preserve his influencer empire. The presentation began with thunderous applause as Samantha took the stage. Financial graphs projected behind her showed Quantum's remarkable recovery, a security breakthrough that had not only recovered their losses but strengthened their blockchain architecture beyond industry standards. Investors leaned forward in their seats, checkbooks metaphorically at the ready. "This breakthrough wasn't mine," Samantha announced, approaching her pivotal moment. "It came from someone I underestimated, someone whose brilliance I failed to recognize because I couldn't see past my own prejudices." The audience murmured in anticipation as she gestured toward the wings. "Please welcome the true architect of Quantum's security renaissance." Alex stepped onto the stage, blinking under the spotlights. From his peripheral vision, something caught his attention, a faint red dot dancing momentarily across Samantha's chest before disappearing. His cybersecurity training had included physical threat assessment, and recognition jolted through him a laser sight. Scanning the ceiling, he glimpsed movement in the lighting rig where no technician should be. In the milliseconds that followed, Alex's mind calculated possibilities with algorithmic precision. Security was too distant to intervene in time. Shouting would only ensure the shooter didn't miss. There was only one way to move Samantha from her marked position without alerting the gunman to their awareness, a method so unexpected it would confound both assassin and audience. 3 rapid steps brought Alex to Samantha's side. Without warning, he pulled her into what appeared to be a passionate kiss, swinging her body away from the targeted position while shielding her with his own frame. The audience gasped at the apparent impropriety. The red dot now danced uselessly across Alex's back, the shooter momentarily confused by this unscripted development. Simultaneously, Alex pressed the panic button on his phone, triggering his own security protocol. The venue's electronic systems, lights, projectors, communications all reset simultaneously, plunging the room into momentary darkness. When emergency lighting engaged seconds later, security converged on the lighting rig, and the would-be assassin found himself surrounded. The gunman's earpiece crackled with Blake's increasingly panicked instructions, each word incriminating him further as security personnel closed in from all directions. Through the chaos, Samantha remained in Alex's protective embrace, her eyes wide with the dawning realization that what appeared to be a scandalous kiss had in fact saved her life from a calculated assassination attempt. In our most vulnerable moments, salvation often comes from unexpected sources, reminding us that true protection requires looking beyond appearances to recognize the guardians already walking among us. Chaos erupted throughout the museum. Blake, watching his assassination plan disintegrate, lost his carefully maintained composure. "What are you waiting for?" he shouted toward the lighting rig, his voice carrying across the stunned room. "Take the shot, kill them both." The audience turned toward him en masse, phones recording his incriminating outburst. Security personnel converged from every direction, pinning Blake against the bar where champagne flutes stood forgotten. His designer suit tore as he struggled against their grip, revealing the hollow man beneath the curated image. The captured gunman quickly implicated both Blake and Rivaltech's CEO, trading information for leniency. Projected on the venue's screens, Alex's evidence complemented the confession, blockchain trails connecting Blake to both the financial theft and the hired assassin. Journalists frantically typed breaking news alerts as venture capitalists huddled, recalibrating the industry landscape this revelation would create. Quantum stocks soared in after-hours trading as the truth spread across financial networks. Samantha stood center stage, microphone still in hand, addressing the audience with newfound authenticity. "Today was meant to showcase our technology, but instead revealed something more valuable: the danger of underestimating people based on their position rather than their potential. Her voice steadied as she continued. The man who saved both quantum finance and my life was relegated to opening our gates because I couldn't see past my own biases. Alex stepped forward, no longer the invisible help, but a man commanding respect. Every person deserves to be valued for their contributions, not their title or appearance, he added, his quiet confidence filling the room. The tech industry talks about innovation while clinging to outdated prejudices about who belongs and who doesn't. Today proves how much talent we waste through our narrow vision. 3 months later, Quantum Finance launched its revolutionary blockchain security framework with Alex Mitchell as Chief Technology Officer. His algorithm, finally bearing his name, set new industry standards for financial protection. Silicon Valley's most prestigious firms competed for his consultation, the same companies that had previously rejected his job applications. Tech magazines featured his journey from gatehouse to executive suite, highlighting the industry's problematic pattern of overlooking LGBT talent. Most meaningful to Alex was the creation of Code Diversity, a quantum-funded initiative providing technology education to underrepresented communities across San Francisco. The former gatehouse transformed into the program's first teaching space, where Alex personally mentored students facing barriers similar to those he had encountered. Watching these young people reclaim their potential gave purpose to his suffering. Samantha and Alex developed a professional partnership built on mutual respect, their complementary strengths creating something neither could have achieved alone. The incident had stripped away her artificial facade, revealing the authentic leader beneath, who now championed inclusion alongside innovation. Blake faced securities fraud charges while serving time for conspiracy to commit murder. His social media empire collapsed into cautionary tale. The kiss that saved Samantha's life had also saved something more profound. It had redeemed both their perspectives, proving that true worth transcends position and appearance. When we allow ourselves to see beyond titles and prejudices, we discover allies in unexpected places and strength in our shared humanity. Have you ever misjudged someone based on their job or appearance, only to discover exceptional qualities hidden beneath? Share your experience in the comments below. For more stories that challenge our perspectives and reveal the extraordinary in seemingly ordinary lives, subscribe to Heart Stories and join our community celebrating the unexpected heroes among us.